So today we're playing a little bit of a different take on this deck. This was a deck I liked a lot. It's a deck I liked a lot from 2 weeks ago. This is the updated green-red Woodlands Omniscience deck. A deck we've put a lot of work into, had some good tournament success with in the past. And the big update here was that instead of playing Karn the Great Creator as like our convoluted loop when we have Omniscience in play or Omniscience copied with Shifting Woodland, instead we're just kind of trying to play Emrakul the Promised End. The idea is that Icetill Explorer is really, really strong with Shifting Woodland. You get to both find Woodland, replay Woodland, and mill over Delirium and mill over the cards that you were trying to copy with Woodland, and mill over like looting for value. So like with that in mind, Ice still plays really well with Emrakul the Promised End because you just make enough mana to hardcast the thing. Now we have a second kind of green-red Woodland deck that we play on occasion. This deck is built around copying God-Pharaoh's Gift instead of Omniscience, and using the God-Pharaoh's Gift ideally to copy Ulamog. This makes it a Annihilator 10 14 power creature, or sorry, it's a yeah, it has 10, it's a 4/4 with 10 counters on it. So 14 power. You also do some really fun stuff with FOMO, where if you have FOMO in the yard with God-Pharaoh's Gift, you get to bring back the FOMO. You always have Delirium because you've copied, or if you have Woodland, because you actually hardcast God-Pharaoh's Gift in this deck a lot more than you used to. But you get to make a 4/4 FOMO, attack, untap the FOMO, get another combat step, bring something else back, maybe something you just discarded to the FOMO copy, and then attack again. That's always really fun dynamic. So I was asked about this version of this deck compared to the Omniscience one when we played the Omniscience one, and at the time I wasn't really thinking that it was going to be very good, and I think I missed like three like big things. I think I missed three things about that analysis, and I think I was wrong when I said I didn't think this version was better. The first one is this one's kind of a little bit harder to realize how powerful it is that you can cast Icetill Explorer on turn 2 with Ugin's Labyrinth. I did this a bunch in testing so far, although yeah, I was running kind of hot doing so. But with turn 1, this is also just what normal Eldrazi does. But with turn 1 Utopia Sprawl, turn 2 Ugin's Labyrinth, you can play Icetill Explorer turn 3. Turn 2. And then on turn 3, if you go Icetill, play your fetch land from the yard, and the next turn you play 2 more fetch lands, and then all of a sudden you have 7 mana on turn 3. 7 mana on turn 3 lets you hardcast God-Pharaoh's Gift. And you've done a lot of milling with Icetill, you're pretty likely to have something to bring back with God-Pharaoh's Gift. Now, this isn't like your plan A or anything, but it makes this whole plan a lot better. It makes this whole plan of like, Icetill is insane in my deck, I'm going to try to play Icetill to facilitate my plan. It makes all of this much stronger. Then, this is maybe more obvious, I think this whole plan is just better with Icetill in general compared to the Omniscience version, because you don't actually need any cards in your hand. If your plan is to power out your Icetill Explorer, all you need is stuff in the graveyard. You need a God-Pharaoh's Gift and a Leveler or an Ulamog, or sometimes just having a Cityscape Leveler with a Woodland is good enough, and like milling over Leveler. Sometimes you'll just mill it over and unearth it. It's like all of this is better with the Icetill plan than the Omniscience Emrakul stuff was. Like I think there's really like at the moment I think there's little downside to this build compared to the Omniscience build. And that has me very excited. You also like FOMO is really good in this deck, and like that gives you another like if you're top decking, you can just cantrip, kind of get out of stuff. It gives you a little bit of a plan B against some of the interactive decks, although not much of one. Decided to really lean into Trinisphere in the sideboard for the store matchup, which feels like one of the worst matchups. I think it's also good against Prowess, which is also a very bad matchup, and so kind of does double weight there in 2 really bad matchups. Anything else? I think that's it. I guess one thing is I did not feel like we had room for Ghost Quarter in this build of the deck because we're so in on Shifting Woodland, we really have to keep that forest count high. Maybe Ghost Quarter is better than Boseiju, but I also found that like I just like your Icestill plan is so good in this deck. It's even better than in the Omni build. There hasn't been a moment in testing I've really wanted to get Ghost Quarter off a Traverse or something like that. Unholy Heat over Tarfire? Yeah, of course. Tarfire Unholy Heat deals 6 damage. That's really relevant. Super relevant. And again, Death Shadows has not been a very good card, so we'll see, I guess. Well, this hand's great. Very likely to be a turn 3 kill. Yes, yeah, Stalker is also good. It's a bit weird where if you play Stalker, I guess I should get Stomping Ground so I can double red next turn. If you play Stalker, um, you just kind of have a strictly worse version of a card in your deck. Like Moonshadow is, it's like just so much better than Stalker, and they do such similar things. It's not one for one worse or whatever, but it's pretty close to that. So, uh, so I don't know. What are we hoping this is? Prowess, maybe? Maybe Jeskai? I mean, Jeskai you probably can't lose. Oh, it's is it Through the Breach? Interesting. So let's go ahead and just not show them that we have Woodland in our hand yet. You have Wraith and Bauble fetches from Moonshadow sound good, fit for multicolor shells. First thing that came to mind was Azula. That was the first thing. I think I'm actually going to discard Icetill Explorer. It's a little weird, but if my opponent K commands my Ulamog, then I can get back the God-Pharaoh's gift, and then I maybe will get another combat too. Maybe this didn't make that much sense, but I can also just copy the Icetill next turn, maybe if they do K command the God-Pharaoh's gift. They don't. They scry draw? They put a card on the bottom. I guess we technically could get through the breach here because of Ugin's Lab, right? The problem with DRC and Moonshadow is the lack of permanent shadow once in DRC. I disagree that Moonshadow really wants you to play a lot of permanents. You need to play Mishra's Bauble and Fetch Lands. That's the minimum, and that's going to be fine. I think you probably also want to play Street Wraith, but it's not like you're like, oh, I really need other permanents in play for Moonshadow to be good. I think it just seems fine. All right, what can they have here? Not really anything, right? So I could play the. I guess you don't want to play the Sprawl first because then it opens you up to Force of Negation. My opponent thought they were going to be the Ulamogger, but they are the Ulamagi today. I think there's space for non-Sam Witches of and Cauldron Familiar Black deck to come back. Is that because of Moonshadow? I see a lot of comments about Asmo too. Like Moonshadow to me is a card that you want to play in a more traditional like tempo / mid-range deck. At the end of the day, it's just a big dumb creature, and then the high synergy stuff like Asmo and Witch's Oven, like you don't usually want to have the payoffs for those be just a big dumb creature because then your big dumb creature dies, and you kind of have like a low power synergy sometimes. Doesn't always work that way, but it definitely can work that way. So these Unholy Heats are pretty dead. We could play just anti-artifact mana, which seems really bad, but seems like it might do more than the whole nothing here. Very weird matchup. Yeah, I thought this was a Utopia Sprawl at first, and I was like, okay, well, maybe keep this, we're gonna mulligan. Think about Moonshadow plus Nest of Scarabs. Hold on. I guess I'll read Nest of Scarabs. I can see the art in my mind, but I cannot see the effect of the card. Whenever one or more counters are put on a creature, you make that many insect tokens. So I guess you could play this, and you could play like the green 2-drop. I don't know. A 3-mana. So I guess I should say this: when you're building a deck in Magic the Gathering, there are roughly a million 3-mana artifacts and enchantments that if you untap with them, you could do something cool like this. Like this is sort of like explicitly design philosophy, I guess. I don't know if that's I'll call it design philosophy. Is that there again, there's just roughly a million good or 3-mana cards that you can build your deck around, and when this card is in play, you get to do something kind of cool that doesn't like win you the game. And it's pretty rare that building your deck this way is correct. It's not impossible for it to be correct for you to build your deck this way, but it's it this. I guess they're gonna null drifter me. But they could have stopped this very very relevant Spyro draw. Um, like I can't remember that many times where like this kind of effect ended up being a good plan. I liked Cat Oven with Airship when trying on Pioneer because you could crew a number ship. Okay, yeah, Cat Oven Airship is kind of cool. Listen, that's all you had to say. Okay, so we can maybe hardcast the God-Pharaoh's Gift next turn. Yeah, Enchantress builds are kind of that way, although one big difference with like Enchantress's presence specifically is that it can do a bunch of stuff immediately, especially because you make a bunch of mana. I've been kind of thinking about Enchantress lately. Enchantress might be kind of good. All right, there's the Ulamog, and then there's also the gift, so we should be pretty lethal next turn, and also pretty kind of good news. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6. Guess I'll take a FOMO. Well, maybe I just want a painless land here. Oh, I'm at 15. Okay, we are dead to Through the Breach Emrakul, but they have to have Ugin's Lab. Missed that we were at 15. I guess it wouldn't matter that much because of the Null Drifter. So I guess my life total doesn't matter that much, so I'll take the FOMO. Probably been more recent pod definitely fits the description. I don't think so. Like pod, like you play and activate, and then a lot of times you win the game immediately. It's not really one of these like you're trying to untap with it kind of cards. I do think pod would be like bad and modern at the moment. So it looks like they're not repping a K command. So are they gonna like consign my God-Pharaoh's Gift trigger? One thing that's kind of nice is we could play around Surgical by just double activating. So then there's another Shifting Woodland. So maybe now I'm really punished for not just like letting this FOMO be in the graveyard. Although I guess double copying Woodland isn't like helpful really, because then our opponent they can just replicate a single consign. So let's just start off by copying a Woodland, see if their plan is, or God-Pharaoh's Gift, see if their plan is Surgical. Then let's go ahead and go to combat. Put this trigger on the stack. And they do consign. So if I copy this Ulamog, I'm attacking for 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I could do that, or I could copy Collector Ouphe on their turn to deny the Talisman. If I copy the Collector Ouphe, then instead of just needing land through the breach, they need land. Or sorry, they instead of needing through the breach big thing, they need land through the breach big thing. They haven't missed a land drop though. Did you want to tuck the God-Pharaoh under Ugin's Lab to play around Surgical? Well, I was just gonna double activate the Woodland, but yeah, maybe I could have. I was thinking that I might still hardcast the God-Pharaoh's Gift this game. I think I'm just gonna play around second consign by setting up to have lethal next turn. And then if they kill me with Through the Breach and they didn't have the land, we'll feel silly as we go to game 3. Could Moonshadow use Airship, or would it be better to play it lower to the ground? We'll probably start lower to the ground, and then, both are like kind of going to be black staples, so it's going to be reasonable to do it either way. Remember, no Annihilator when you just Woodland and Ulamog. It needs +1 counters. All right, so now they're down to 7 life points. We beat a consign this next turn. They had the land, so the Collector Ouphe to deny the Talisman line wouldn't have done anything unless they're on Terminal Velocity, I think that's the name of the 6 mana through the breach. All right, and we die. Go to game 3. On the play for game 3. Gonna mulligan this. Triple lab, no imprintables, rough. Let's keep this. Let's put back the Ouphe. Ouphe's not very good against them, but it's just kind of more text than the Unholy Heat. Although maybe Unholy Heat killing Null Drifter is better than Ouphe. It's gonna be pretty marginal either way. Yeah, I ended up not feeling like I had room for the Ghost Quarter with all the Ugin's lab. I didn't think we have. We're already kind of cheating on our forest count as is. What is the best card on new set? You're gonna have to wait for the YouTube video recording tomorrow. No stream tomorrow. I'm gonna be recording that tomorrow. All right, let's get ready to rumble. Let's go ahead and take the Icetill, since that can replay the Woodland. And it seems pretty likely to resolve. Although, I guess maybe we're opening ourselves up to Surgical and Woodland, although then we can just start hardcasting stuff because we have Icetill. They imprint an Ulamog, then maybe cast Stock Up here. Yeah, we lose. Do you think the Evoke Elementals could bring back Living in a meaningful way? Maybe. I do think that the Simic and the Dimir one both seem pretty reasonable for Living in. I don't see a lot of reason to imprint because I think I want to be looting this away this turn. So, like, yes, I do think... Okay, there's the God-Pharaoh's Gift, so we have lethal next turn. Okay, sorry. One thing that could be cool is maybe traversing for Boseiju to get them off K command. Okay, hold on, I don't even remember what I was talking about. So Living in, I think, is kind of maybe a little underplayed at the moment. As is the thought I wanted. I couldn't quite finish there. So if I traverse for Boseiju, cast Boseiju, then I'm not going to be able to also. I'm not going to be able to also activate the Woodland. Do I just go for it? Okay, I really like that I've milled over the 3rd God-Pharaoh's Gift, which means that they can't exile all my God-Pharaoh's Gifts here. Yeah, I think I need to just go for it in this matchup. All right, trigger on the stack. Maybe they're going to dress down. Okay, there's Consign. So we'll see if they have land through the breach. If they do have land through the breach, I might be able to beat it. I can go sack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I can go, or like maybe just leave Woodland. Yeah, one. Yeah, I can actually kill them next turn if they threw the Breach Emrakul, which is crazy. So weirdly, that's what we're rooting for here. But through the Breach Ulamog kills me. Emrakul. Yes. This is so cool. This is sick. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I get to go replay the Ugin's Labyrinth and replay a forest. And then activate the Shifting Woodland and win the game. Let's go! Oh man, this is so cool. I guess I don't have a FOMO to actually kill them this turn, but I do get to Annihilator 14 them. Or sorry, yeah, Annihilator 10 them and then hit them for 16. So I guess we're both going to be at 1. Unless they have the most heartbreaking surgical extraction of all time. Dang, you do not on turn 5 kill your opponent after being attacked by Emrakul is crazy, dude. I'm not convinced the 3 spears are what we're doing are doing what we need them to do with only the sprawls to power them out. Did you consider also the Ugin's labyrinths that power them out? Get back to me. I do think like Storm and Prowess are two really rough matchups, which is why I wanted to be so spherical. I guess we will imprint so that if I mill over Woodland and if I mill over Woodland, if I guess this is such a pipe dream, but if I mill over everything I need, then I can maybe combo off next turn. I guess maybe just 2 pipe dreamy. I'm gonna go and take the FOMO. I also like am probably just planning on hard casting this God-Pharaoh's gift on like turn 4. Now, do I want to chump block with my spawn token? Oh. Seems like they thought about discharging here. Okay, they did discharge. Okay, no thought needed. My favorite. So next turn we're gonna have 5 mana. So we do need our Icetill to like live for a turn in order for us to be able to God-Pharaoh's gift. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have put this FOMO into my hand. It's not the biggest deal because we still have a lot of mills with the Icetill. Drawing the Ugin's Lab is also kind of interesting, so now we could draw an imprintable and still cast the God-Pharaoh's gift next turn. I want to make sure that, okay, then there's now a creature to God-Pharaoh's gift. So I guess I'm looking to see an imprintable, although it's kind of weird. Yeah, it would be kind of weird if I saw like a Ulamog or a Cityscape Leveler. Like I both wanted in hand to hardcast the God-Pharaoh's gift if the Icetill dies, and I also want it in the graveyard. So this attack means they've got Galvanic Discharge. So if I block like this, the Icetill kills. I guess yeah, I should block like this so that I trade. I get to kill the Ragavan and trade for discharge. But if I block the Pride, then the Icetill just dies, and I don't get to kill a creature with it. Now I do get to just I think win the game next turn. Oh no, I'm not because the Icetill's dying. I'm not gonna have enough mana. Oh, second Ragavan. So I guess now they just kill the Icetill with the bombardment. Interesting. Maybe we just got leveled. Oh, I guess sorry. I also just don't have the because this is dying. I can't woodland, of course. Um, sorry about that. Let's go ahead and I think we actually just flashback looting since I'm not going to discard the God-Pharaoh's gift to the Icetill, which means trying to draw into. That means trying to draw into woodland doesn't really make much sense because I'm not going to discard this anyways because I want to hardcast it this next turn. So let's discard one of the FOMOs, which we really like to be in the graveyard when we go for the gift. Then a Windswept Heath. Then I think I'm going to go Ugin's Lab, Rumble, plus Fear of Missing Out here. Although, hold on. I guess the problem with doing that is if I discard, I need this for next turn. So I guess we'll actually just go cast Fear of Missing Out, discard the Rumble. Kind of expecting the Fear of Missing Out to die this turn cycle. Wait, they sacked the Pride? Hold on, what happened? They sacked Pride instead of Ragavan. I don't even know how that happened. It was like too locked in on my own sequencing. All right, so they draw 2 cards after they discard a Sacred Foundry. We really just need to dodge Thraben Charm, or mostly just need to dodge Thraben Charm. They get a basic Plains. Oh my gosh, I could. Well, the good news is there are multiple modes on Thraben Charm, and sometimes your opponent might select the incorrect one. All right, so cast God-Pharaoh's Gift. Then we bring back Fear of Missing Out. Now, some of y'all might not know why Fear of Missing Out is in this deck. Here's why. So we get to bring it back another one. All right. Maybe one of the most underrated brews we've ever had, honestly. Yeah, I feel like everyone who's never seen this deck does not understand the Fear of Missing Outs until they see them like come back as a 4/4 attack and get another God-Pharaoh's Gift, another FOMO. It's just like the card's like so uncuttable, but a lot of people like I actually would think that almost no one realizes how insane they are until they see that turn happen. Yeah, I think this is what we did last time. We brought in the 4th Heat, the 3 Fire Magics, kind of Leveler, Spyro, and Icetill Foam. I think that's fine. It doesn't go infinite, but it deals a fuck ton of damage. Is Force any good against Boros? It's definitely okay if they're really in on Blood Moon. You still have Traverse for Boseiju, and you also have just Icetill into Hardcast. You have Icetill into Hardcast Leveler, so that ends up usually being an okay enough plan against Blood Moon that you don't really want to be in on it unless you think they're really in on a lot of Blood Moons. I don't know if Boros is on a lot of Blood Moons at the moment. So they don't play a 2-drop. I've got a lot of removal in my hand. They didn't play a 2-drop. I think I'm just going to go ahead and Fire Magic plus Rumble. We can looting this away if we want. Also, if they play Blood Moon, we might just even try to hardcast this. They got a Surveil land instead of a basic plains, and then they surveilled the plains into the yard, so Reed might be wrong. Okay, they just telegraphed or retelegraphed our play too much, I guess. I'm gonna cast this looting. Kind of choked on red mana right now. Need them to Blood Moon me, huh? I think I'm just traversing for Stomping Ground. It's a little weird. Why use Fire Magic so haste? I mean, kills both of their creatures. I don't know. It seemed fine. Also, like, wouldn't kill my spawn if I wanted to use Fire Magic next turn. Or Heat next turn, rather. Really brutal that they just, like, totally played around the Fire Magic there. Two cards still in their hand. Back up to 2. They discard just an Arid Mesa. Turning the cat is also best against my double removal spell hand. So I think we just flashback a looting here. Need to find a God-Pharaoh's Gift. Legend of Roku. Let's see what they find. They find a guide, a Sunbait Canyon, and another Legend of Roku. Then they Galvanic Discharge. So I think I'm going to heat the cat token just to try to keep my life total high. Then take 3 down to 6. And we should have like 2 turns to try to dig for a God-Pharaoh's Gift here. Would have heated on guide. Oh, sorry. Would have heated guide on Pyrocast, and blocked Pride. No cat sack. No cat life gain. Yeah, maybe that was better. Okay, so we've milled the God-Pharaoh's gift, so now we need to dodge a Thraben Charm or a Surgical. And we also need to not die this turn, although dying is going to be kind of difficult. So Legend of Roku. They flip. They find a Ghost Vacuum. You know, we can't play Basic Mountain. We're a Utopia Sprawl deck with Ugin's Labyrinth and Shifting Woodland, so it's too difficult to include, unfortunately. But I need to Unholy Heat this guide, because with the Ragavan here, they're going to be able to jump something if I don't. We do mill over a Cityscape Leveler. Now we're kind of in a point where an Ulamog attack isn't even enough without a fear of missing out. Let me get the other forest out of the deck first. Really hoping to get some good mills here. Not some good mills. We really need to see like FOMO right now. See another woodland. So if I go copy God-Pharaoh's gift, they target the God-Pharaoh's gift again in response. We activate again. The problem is they sack 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we're just dead. So I think I have to looting to try to find fire magic now. Okay, we do find fire magic, and we also find 2 more God-Pharaoh's gifts, which are pretty good. My opponent has a Ragavan in the exile zone, so we're gonna hold for that. Be interesting what they ghost vacuum. They ghost vacuum the Ulamog. Then they make a mana, and they flip an Urza Saga. Or sorry, a Legend of Roku. So they have a Ragavan in exile, they've got a Sunbay Canyon, they've got a couple mystery cards. They go ahead and sack the Canyon. Been seeing Canyon more and more in Boros. I think it's time. Again, they don't. I think if we go to game 3, I'll keep the hand hider up. Not that my opponent's ghosting, but they have played perfectly around my hand the whole game, so just in case. Obviously, totally capable of just doing that, right? So I have another Surveil. I do have another Surveil. So my goal again is to find some fear of missing outs here. Doesn't really matter what order we stack these because we're graveyarding any card on the Surveil. There's a fear of missing out. One might not be enough. They also didn't make a free dragon. Wait, when did they have 8 mana to make a free dragon? Yeah, probably dead now. So they exile the FOMO, so we get back a Cityscape Leveler, and we get back an Icetill Explorer. So it seems like, it seems like we're just dead. Yeah, I think if the FOMO was enough though, because we could untap the Cityscape Leveler and they don't have enough attackers, enough blockers. But yeah, now they just kind of anticlimactic, but they just have 3 attackers and I just have 2 blockers, huh? So let's go to game 3. I'm gonna throw up the hand hider for game 3, not because my opponent is ghosting, but they did play perfectly around my hand the whole game, so just in case. Right, on the play for game 3. Keeping my 7. They're on a level 6. Yeah. I think that, you know, our opponent's good. And they definitely can just be playing around my hand. I'm not accusing them of ghosting, but I do also think if we have an opponent who plays perfectly around my instance the whole game, I think that throwing up the hand hider is perfectly fine. Not accusing them of anything. Well, not a bad turn two. Let's go to combat. Okay, love to not get my graveyard Thraben Charmed here. Pass back. They just surveil. Graveyard's a Flooded Strand. Plays an Arena of Glory. And then just a Seasoned Pyromancer here. Discarding a Ragavan and another Arid Mesa. So let's see if we can find a Shifting Woodland. We mill another God-Pharaoh's Gift. I guess I'm keeping this. So I'm going to go and give myself a few more looks at a God-Pharaoh's Gift. Or sorry, a Shifting Woodland here. Maybe I just don't play another land so I can keep this on top. Yeah, I think that's fine. Then I'm gonna Fire Magic and play another FOMO, discard another Ulamog. Oh, sorry, now I can play a land because I just drew the Rumble. If they're listening on stream, they would have Thraben Charm better game one. Well, I mean, I just said I need to dodge Thraben Charm. I didn't say to them like them ghosting isn't any extra information on that, right? Like, you know, I didn't say I need them to not Thraben Charm to exile my graveyard. I just said I need to dodge Thraben Charm. My whole I had the lethal stuff in the graveyard there, you know. But again, I don't think I think they're probably not ghosting. They're playing pretty fast too. They're probably not ghosting, but again, just if I have an opponent who plays perfectly around my hand the whole game, I just feel fine to throw up the hand hider for sideboard game. I'm not really trying to say anything with it. I logged on to Moto for the first time in 20 years the other day. It seemed like there were about only 50 on. How do you know how many people there are? We've got 866 players in the Modern League, which is, you know, low for sure. Okay, Founder Woodland. We have enough to activate again in response to a surgical, which is nice. They do have the Thraben Charm. Is there anything else I want to copy here? Not really. We cast another FOMO. And then let's go and attack them down to 3. Yeah, I still just make this like you have so many different plans now too. I still so insane in this archetype. Do a lot of people play Commander on Magic Online? Not to my knowledge, no. All right, so they're only taking 4. They're down to 4. They've got 3 cards in their hand. And they concede. Nice. So 2-0 against Boros today. Is the idea here that Icetill is both an enabler for Fit Gift and also ramps into hardcasting fatties? Yeah. The card is just so insane. Like, it finds Woodland, replays Woodland, it mills your entire graveyard for the Woodland to win you the game. It lets you hardcast the big stuff if you're stuck on big stuff. You can also cast Icetill turn 2 by going Utopia Sprawl into Ugin's Labyrinth, which I did a couple times last night. We haven't done yet today. But this lets you even hardcast God-Pharaoh's Gift on turn 3, because you go Sprawl, Labyrinth, land, then land, God-Pharaoh's Gift on turn 2. Or sorry, turn 3. And then you've milled a bunch, so you're kind of likely to have something in the yard to get back. All right, Thundering Falls go. Let's go ahead and name red here. Does the pro circuit usually play Modern or Pioneer? So it's a rotating format, whatever the Pro Tour format is. It's been mostly standard and Modern for a while. They for a while it was like mostly Pioneer, and then they just kind of completely pivoted away from it. And then they play limited also. Yeah, it's either standard limited or Modern limited, but I mean it can also be Pioneer limited, but I don't know if Wizards is just like completely abandoned it or not yet. All right, so we're up against Jeskai, which should be one of our best matchups. Let's go ahead and conceal the fact that we have a woodland. Usually I like to do that if I can. Maybe now it'll be kind of obvious that we have one. I'm not going to take one here. I think I'm still going to take a Fear of Missing Out. Oh, dang. Well, I didn't play around the discharge by F6ing here, so I gave them 2 free energy. We'll see if that's relevant. It will be pretty relevant if I draw an Icetill, I guess. So, Teferi, Fable, Flage, Teferi. Blessing. Best draw by a lot is, of course, God-Pharaoh's Gift. Yeah, I played the team Pro Tour, which was so fun. I was so lucky to get to play that event. But the team Pro Tour, where it was like Legacy Modern Standard, was just such a treat. Right, happy we drew the Icetill. Might get Galvanic Discharge. They've got 4 cards in their hand here. Do they have Orm's Chant? Jeskai doesn't usually play Orm's Chant. I guess they don't have to be Jeskai Blink. They could be more of a Jeskai control deck. They sure do have this upkeep stop. Are they at work or do they have Orm's Chant? Guess at home. I do this. Just see if this gets my opponent to play the game. I don't know. Sometimes it does. What do you know? Giving control players everywhere a bad name. Alright, they Strix Serenade my Icetill. Strix Serenade is a lot more likely to be Jeskai Blink than it is likely to be control. What Lorwyn card is everybody the most excited for? I'm going to be taking the stream off tomorrow to record the video. It ended up being really long. It's like Lorwyn's really weird because there are good cards here, but most of them are just kind of weird and complicated and probably won't see any play, and I need to talk about them. So I'm talking about 50 cards ish. I guess a good bit got cut. Some of them are lumped together. Or did I unlump them? I guess I did end up cutting a lot. Some of the goblins and like merfolk cards are lumped together, so maybe like 45 cards ish. There's a lot to talk about. But at the same time, the power level is not that high. It's very weird for me. I do think Moonshadow is really good, but I'm going to be recording tomorrow. Did I make a Twitch account to take that screen? So I thought about it. Apparently, there's a website that let me create a fake chat for Feisty Spikeling here. Why don't you make it live and upload the live reaction to it? I'm happy for your enthusiasm. That's how I read it. When I record these videos, it takes me a lot longer than you would expect a full-time streamer to record something. I for each section I usually record it like 3 times, and each time I'm trying to make it shorter. It may not seem like that based on how the end product works out, but if I have the luxury of pre-recording something, I'm going to do my best to make the product as high quality as I can. Probably just want to double FOMO here. And so like I'm always trying to make the the recording as fast as possible. I'm always trying to tone down my yapping. So it takes a lot longer to record than just the upload time. I think that if I was going to do a live version of it and just upload the response, the overall product would suffer, and it's not something I'm willing to compromise on. Yeah, the bitter blossom bear. I'm not even going to talk about it. It's just the video is going to be too long, and I think this card just sucks. Unfortunately, it's very cool. Yeah, they got 4 cards in their hand here. One of them was an Arid Mesa, and they just passed the turn. So why don't we get Delirious here? Okay, I was thinking about copying my Icetill, but I guess I'll just cast one now. Looking at attack first. ETA on Lower Wind video? It'd probably be out in 27, 28 hours. So I think I'm just supposed to traverse for Leveler here. Oh, out of fetchables. Guess I should have played the Woodland then. Yeah, I'll keep that. It's fine. No Solitude's good news. I don't know what their hand is. They have also discharged. It can't be discharged. It could be Prismatic Ending, maybe, although they probably should have pending the FOMO last turn if they had Prismatic Ending. They would have used another Serenade. They would have used a Solitude. They would have used a Riddler. They would have used a Flage. They would have used... I guess Consign. Consign is a card that makes sense. Wow, Feisty Spikeling. The account has been created. Okay, so here's a Flage. I think they must have just drawn this. It'd be kind of interesting. Do they... I guess they should just target me twice, right? Because I have to chump block. I guess it's the same if they kill the Icetill or if they target me. It's exactly the same. Oh, wait, no, they target the Icetill. Oh, I'm dead! I'm dead! Wow. Well played. So I played this matchup last night. Ended up cutting the 4th Sprawl to be a bit better against like double Prismatic Ending draws against Wrath the Sky. It's not a very big deal. I just want the 4th Heat. Should have been maybe more aware of that happening to me. All right, let's keep our 7. I'm probably just gonna Surveil turn 1 here. I'm going to choose Trinisphere. It's really important against Storm and Prowess, of course. Those are 2 difficult matchups also. In this matchup, I don't think it's something we're interested in. I think I'll discard the Looting. So we're Delirious now. They flip over a Stomping Ground. Then they play a Surveil land. So I think I should Traverse for an Icetill. Then Heat the Ragavan, probably. Is there something else I should Traverse for while I have the mana? Honestly, it might just be second. I think it's actually just second Icetill. Yeah, I don't really like playing another FOMO because then we're pretty weak to Flage, just hitting me with Ragavan again. Obviously, saving Heat to kill like a Riddler can be pretty nice. So definitely not, no consideration there. They do leave their archive untapped here or tapped here. Then they can sign to save it. All right, so we can go for the win next turn. Although, let's see if we get our Strixly serenaded here. Yeah, okay. That does use their treasure token at least. So we get super rewarded for traversing for the second Icetill this game. They've got 3 cards in their hand. I will chump block the Riddler if I'm given the opportunity. They might like Flage or Teferi me here though. They're hasting maybe a Felia. Maybe they're going to haste Flage and then consign the ETB. They haste Flage, but they leave a red mana floating. Is this a mistake? Oh, they just have Ragavan. So we're gonna get hit for 6 down to 11, and they surgical my Icetill because they know I have it. Now the good news is we have lethal next turn, or not next turn, the turn after next. I guess we could have lethal this turn if we drew Ugin's Labyrinth and Printable off the FOMO, or if we drew Looting into land. I drew a Traverse. What does Traverse do for me here? Doesn't seem like it does anything. So if I shock in to play the FOMO, I'll be down to 9. So I'm dead to Ephemerate, Arena of Glory. I'm dead to Ephemerate. I'm dead to Arena of Glory. This is 6, 9. Is there anything they could hit off Ragavan that I really care about? Not really. Yeah, I know the current arena is exerted, but we're dead to top deck Arena. We're dead to top deck Ephemerate. They get 2 looks, right? No, we can't afford the basic mountain. We don't have enough forest for our Utopia Sprawls, in my opinion. Do I die to another Flay? I don't think that there's a lot that I lose to if I just play the second FOMO, but I also don't think it beats much. 9, 4. I guess I would die to like a regular ass Lightning Bolt or a Flage too, right? Wait, hold on. If I sit, so that I take 4 down to 7. Oh, I'm not dead to Ephemerate if I don't shock. Okay, good. That's good to know. Sure, whatever. Having one, you must play as many forests as possible in the Utopia Sprawl deck. Any like mana fixer that's not a forest is the kind of a non-starter. TJ with the 10 months, we're already kind of low as is. Okay, well, so they got to draw 2 new cards. I guess Consign also probably beats me. There's a lot of cards they could find that were pretty weak too, and a lot that they can't. Grant with the 43 months, good to see you. TG with the 10, appreciate you as well. Don't believe we're dead to Teferi, although they're going to have 2 mana to find either Consign, Surgical. I guess they'll have a 3rd mana off the Ragavan, huh? They flipped the Rumble. Probably nothing they can Rumble into for value here. Did they draw 2 cards? I guess they did draw 2 cards off the Teferi minus. Do they have 10 permanents? They have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exactly 10. They cast the Rumble. They rumble over a Surgical, so -1 Surgical that they could find. Obviously, they can't put that in their hand here. They choose a Felia. So is the plan to cast Felia after we throw an Ulamog at them? Seems like we need to be going for the Fear of Missing Out chain first, since we have so many Fear of Missing Outs. This plays around Solitude kind of well, too. You've been taking so much damage from not having a mountain. I'm telling you, I think you have to take the damage. I agree that the mountain would be nice. I just can't imagine cutting it for playing it in this build with so few forest as it is. Like the Boseiju is so important to be able to traverse for. All right, so they have a march. Wait, did I just fuck this up? I guess I did, huh? Because I don't know. It's really hard to play around March because like our token doesn't die to Galvanic Discharge. Didn't we lose it? They did this before attacks. They lose anyways because we don't get the extra trigger. So like my FOMO didn't die to Discharge. If they had Solitude, maybe it was still better to target the Ulamog either. Or anyways. Yeah, I guess it just made it more sense to target the Ulamog. Alright, let's mulligan this on the draw. They're also on the multi-6. Yeah, just can't really keep only Icetill with no acceleration on the draw, so we're going to mulligan again. They do keep their 6-card hand. The hand's actually kind of fine. Just need to draw land. So the draw against Boros, we're 2-0 against Boros on the day, although on the multi-5 on the draw we might lose. We'll make it red because we've got the Spyro, so that if we draw Woodland or Lab, we can still cast Spyro next turn. They flip over Wooded Foothills, the land I did want to top deck. They got a turn 2 Fable on the play, so big draw step for us. We do draw the land. I'm going to go ahead and play Seasoned Pyromancer to really try to shut this board down. Getting the FOMO in the yard is not too bad anyways because of God-Pharaoh's gift. We might need the second attack. Although we don't draw land number 4 for Icetill yet. So they have 4 cards in their hand as they go to loot with Fable of the Mirror Breaker. The Ragavan should be pretty shut down until they find Guided Souls, I guess. Yeah, I guess we drew the exact 2 cards that we discarded, huh? They discard a Guide of Souls, which is interesting. And only a Guide of Souls. Then they play a basic mountain. What could their hand be that they would discard just Guide of Souls? Maybe a Johnny Bombardment's land? Still probably keep Guide of Souls as the 4th card there. Let's trade Seasoned Pyromancer here. Better to have 2 1/1s against the Ragavan. Kind of better to have a Spyro in the yard within our God-Pharaoh's gift deck too. So I think they have a Johnny plus Bombardment. Okay, well I guess I'm wrong. Okay. Very weird game. I'm going to discard this God-Pharaoh's gift though. Best draw, I guess, now is Ugin's Lab, so that we can start casting stuff. They do get to flip the Fable to Chapter 3. Yeah, Ugin's Lab will let me find a Woodland pretty quick, probably. I mean, a Woodland is also a good draw. Okay, I guess they were just Guide of Souls flooded. Yikes. Okay. So, yeah, we need to draw... I guess, you know, Traverse the Ulvenwald, Rumble, Faithless Looting... Woodland, any land's kind of okay, although any land, we kind of need to find a Woodland immediately after that. Although, do we even get another turn here? I guess we just, sorry, we don't even get another turn. Trash for Treasure too slow? Oh, I guess why do you want to play Trash for Treasure when you just can play a land that doesn't need you to resolve a sorcery, and we have no artifacts to sacrifice in the stack, right? Alright, let's go to game 2. It's like, we currently have no artifacts, and nor do we want to have to play a lot of artifacts. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. This has been our sideboard playing against Boros. It's been working, so let's stick with it. -1 Leveler, -1 FOMO, -1 Icetill, -1 Explorer, FOMO, Leveler, Spyro. I don't think the Spyro is too bad. It's a little slow against them, though. When you say it's better, what version do you mean it's better than? Than the green-red Icetill Omniscience deck that we played 2 weeks ago. I do think that this build is better than the Omniscience version. The big things are you can cast Icetill turn 2, which is nuts. Because you can cast Icetill turn 2, you can cast God-Pharaoh's gift turn 3. This build gets to play Ugin's Labyrinth. You just don't actually need any cards in your hand when you go off. It's like copying God-Pharaoh's gift is, you know, almost always a win. You know, even in games where you don't have Ulamog, copying FOMO or Leveler is really good. Even copying Icetill sometimes can be very strong. And then not needing cards in your hand when you go off is a really big deal when your deck is so built around Icetill where you just get to dump so much stuff in your graveyard. I have not done the set review yet, but I will be doing it tomorrow. I'm going to be taking tomorrow off to record it. Yeah, keeping this on the play against Boros. So you go turn 1 Utopia Sprawl, turn 2 Ugin's Labyrinth to cast Icetill turn 2. Then you can play another land from the Icetill, and then that other land will give you 5. The next turn you go land, God-Pharaoh's Gift, and you've milled some cards too along the way. And if you build a creature, you can get them with Gift. And I did this off stream last night, and I'm like, all right. Excited for tomorrow. All right, let's go ahead and Rumble. Maybe we can go Icetill plus Fire Magic next turn. Good to be milling an Ulamog. Delirium online. Cast 2 more 1 toughness creatures. Looking at the deck, I'm not entirely sure we're doing it. It looks interesting. Yeah, so the idea is that you try to Shifting Woodlands, God-Pharaoh's Gift to get back Ulamog, which attacks for 14, or get back FOMO, which comes with 4/4 attack on tap. Get another God-Pharaoh's Gift trigger. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to go for Icetill plus just Fire Magic on 1 here. Leave them with the guide for now. Is that right? Maybe that's wrong. I think I'm actually just going to kick the Fire Magic. I like that I can drain them of the 3 energy too, probably. Have to kill them all. I'm not sure that that's true. It definitely seems wise. They have 4 cards in their hand. Things are easier when they don't just play around the Fire Magic, huh? Draw a card with the Surveil, basically. About as close to draw a card as Surveil gets. Actually, that's not true, huh? So there's my Shifting Woodland. Let's just go ahead and play that now. I still like just immediately a 3-for-1 that ramps us. And then can dig us very deep for a God-Pharaoh's Gift. I lost this week, and the week was it you? If it was last night, it probably was me. My opponent says, I see now. It's all so clear. I'm so sad that Matoya draw on Scry Surveil never turned into anything. Yeah. It's like it's one of those really sad cards where our first like match with it was really insane, and then we just experienced some very good high variance with it. So we just ramp in Hardcast Gift. You can hardcast it. That's I think a really nice part of this deck is that ice still makes it very hardcastable. But the main idea is to copy it with Woodland. And then all of these cards also imprint to Ugin's Labyrinth, which is a really big deal, of course. Maybe I should be more vocal about that. No, it seems like I'll just Fire Magic next turn. They will get to kill my Icetill because the Fire Magic will deal 2 damage here, but not before I get to play 2 more lands. I also might just find the God-Pharaoh's Gift here. So I guess I played this Icetill first, because otherwise I can't get 1 more land drop. Still no God-Pharaoh's Gifts in the top half of the deck. That's okay though. Oh, there's one. Okay, we win. Great. Awesome. Well, I guess they could have Surgical still. Can you explain what you mean X for 1? Sometimes use it to explain a trade-off with opponent's interaction. Of course, yeah. So 2-for-1s, 3-for-1s. This is like a pretty normal like way to evaluate the value you're getting from a card. And it's a pretty important concept to understand how a card like Icetill Explorer is card advantage, even though it doesn't say draw a card on it. So in that spot, I called Icetill Explorer 3-for-1 because we got to play it. We got to play 2 lands. That's 3 cards worth of value that we got for 1 card. And then even if our opponent was to immediately Galvanic Discharge or untapping Galvanic Discharge the Icetill Explorer there, then they would have used 1 cards. We would have gotten 3 cards for the 1. That would have been a 3-for-1. And the more times you can accumulate 2 and 3 for ones, sooner or later your opponent will have nothing left. They'll be grinded into dust. Ransom the 65 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Glad you're still liking the stream after all this time. Definitely still grinding out here. All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Okay, so we don't have a mountain to traverse for. I don't know that I'd love to keep this hand even if we did. I would definitely like. I would keep this if this was a stomping ground. It's a basic forest. Okay, let's keep this. My opponent kept 7. So I go Forest, Utopia Sprawl, turn 1. I think I just put back the Traverse. Would definitely like all the cards in that hand. Okay, they have a 1-drop. Is fitting Braids into black deck too aspirational? Well, if you aspire to play unplayable cards, it's aspirational enough, I suppose. So, do I want to... I could go Stomping Ground. I think I'm gonna name green here. If I name green, I can play Icetill Explorer next turn. I don't really think I'm dying to play FOMO next turn either, anyways. I can just Sprawl Rumble next turn. Alright, so we're taking 3 down to 16. They flip over a Shifting Woodland, so only 3 of those left in the deck now. Guess I commit to playing this Ugin's Lab. So that I can for sure Sprawl. I guess we take backup Icetill Explorer. And then we'll Sprawl on red this time. Good to see you in the chat, Toporg. Been a little bit. Although you've stayed sub this whole time, huh? Yeah, I definitely have loved the Avatar set. It's been one of my favorites. So I guess I would prefer not to block with these spawn tokens so that I can go Icetill land, kick Fire Magic next turn. So they've got a Bombardment. And then they have an Ajani. It seems to be a good card to pair with Goblin Bombardment, huh? So they're gonna go probably kill my spawn token here. Oh, they already have 3 energy. I mean, they're probably still gonna kill the spawn, but I didn't realize they already had the 3rd energy. I thought they would do this pre-combat. We're gonna take 3 down to 13. Gonna be a close game, hopefully. Okay, I'm down to 12. Okay, we already had access to a woodland. Let me play woodland first. We mill a Cityscape Leveler, which is interesting. We mill a commercial district. So if my opponent goes making a Johnny token or go Dash Ragavan making a Johnny token, I Fire Magic and I only take I shock down to 8 and then I only take 2 from the Ajani instead of 5. But then they could sacrifice 3 things, putting me down to if I should 8, and then I take 3 more down to 5, and I take 2 more down to 3, and I die to the Guide of Souls. So I guess we're dead. Again, I don't think we should play the mountain. I understand why you want to play it. I'm gonna hold firm in my anti-mountain beliefs here today. I do think we're dead though. I think we might be dead even if we had the mountain. Is Reaping Willow on my radar for the Fate Stitcher Soul Cauldron deck? Well, doesn't even seem to be a real card. Or maybe these aren't in the Scryfall yet. Yeah, we would be dead even if we had the mountain. Okay, so we're 2-2 here. We're about 2.5 hours into the stream. I think I might want to pivot so we have time for the backup deck. I think that seems fine. Okay, so this one probably also looks pretty familiar. I know I got kind of Shifting Woodland pilled last night. This one I'm a little less confident.